Good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric Foster, co-founder of the Future Today and Tomorrow Super PAC. Wanted to speak, though, to another initiative that I am a part of, which is the Changemaker Initiative. And the Changemaker Initiative is a activity and a program that we, with our Super PAC, have decided to build to try to bring together the stakeholders in the cannabis and hemp industry together so that we can have a united joint approach to changing the policy landscape that affects cannabis and hemp federally and at the state level. This initiative we believe is important because right now cannabis and hemp are getting their butts kicked. We've been around since 1996 when California first legalized medical cannabis access. And then in 2018, hemp was legalized. But in both cases, we've been, as an industry, existing without actual support from our policy makers, from the regulatory bodies that are there. And quite honestly, that shit's got to end. And the way to end it is not by continuing to ask the same person to the prom that since 1996 has been saying no. It's to get somebody who wants to go to the prom with you in a position that they can go to the prom with you. Ergo, changing the lawmakers to change the regulatory environment to change our future. This industry has for too long played at the edges of funding state ballot campaign initiatives, lobbying at state and federal levels, making direct contributions to candidates, but not had a coordinated national and multi-state focused strategy to impact change. And that's got to end, and it needs to end starting now. Because these efforts that we're doing are not getting us anywhere. And somebody who just got new to school and who already, and with them being new in school, has become prom king and prom queen, well, them and their family, is, and not to say that they're dating their family, I'm sorry for that analogy dynamic, but has become prom king is crypto. And crypto has become the king because they were doing their lobbying and engagement activities similar to us. And in 2023, they said that shit's going to end. And they got together collectively, supported multiple super PACs, as well as an advocacy and engagement arm called Stand with Crypto, and put their money to good strategic use. Also, they diversified both their lobbying approach by bringing in diverse lobbying groups to engage diverse elected officials, because the elected official universe, especially on the Democratic side, and creeping up a little bit on the Republican and MAGA Republican side, is not just white men anymore, and engaging in proactive legal strategies. And what did they do? They won control of Congress. They won and have 270 plus members in the House and a minimum of 53 members in the Senate that are their people. And as you saw with the Genius Act, they've gotten a first piece of legislation that is pro their industry pass. Now, we've been doing this since 1996, and we've gotten one bill passed, well, two bills, the farm bill for hemp, with no support to actually stand up a hemp industry sector, both consumable, CBD, health based, and industrial non consumable. And we got a Medical Research Act passed during the Biden administration, but it really didn't have any underpinning or undergirding. And so the resulting supporting legislation that needed to come after that has been stalled. So 30 years next year, two pieces of legislation without any foundation. Guys, we've been paying a 30-year mortgage, and all we got is a door, a basement, and two sides of the house. Crypto's been around for about 5 years, and they got a damn mansion. We're not work. This isn't working. But what can work is this type of approach, bringing hemp and cannabis together to work together so that we can achieve the outcomes that we need to achieve to sustain the industry, to grow the industry, and to gain control of our regulatory fortunes going forward, because this is failing. And I give you an example of how it's failing. So right now, in Florida, in Oklahoma, and in Missouri, you have cannabis and hemp groups that are trying to do ballot initiatives. That's great. Bless your hearts. When you did the ballot initiative in Oklahoma back in 2023, you spent close to $20 million and only got 38% of the vote. But even if you would have gotten it passed, the state legislature, which is a MAGA majority, and the MAGA governor, Kevin Stitt, would have likely gutted, changed, and restructured what you passed through voter referendum into whatever they wanted. Missouri, you've had two ballot initiatives to get both medical and adult use cannabis, but now a hemp consortium of entities is trying to get that repealed to create a new structure that's more unified and open. But you just saw that the legislature passed a bill that Governor Parsons signed to repeal the ballot proposal for paid sick leave and paid sick leave and minimum wage. I'm sorry, and it was paid sick leave and minimum wage. 58% of the voters voted for it. The state legislature said, yeah, no. Your vote as citizens doesn't mean as much when you vote for a ballot initiative or referendum as it does when you vote to fire people from elected office who stand against the things you think are important. Because those people, especially in this world we're living in now, where the MAGA folks feel that the will of the majority is meaningless, the only will that matters is our will, and we're going to force it down your throat, they will change what you approve or they'll just kill it, by the way. And then lastly, in Florida, bless their heart, trying again to go to the voters to get 60% of the vote for a single subject ballot initiative that you if you pass, then the regulations have to come from the MAGA majority legislature, and the likelihood that you'll have a MAGA governor in control of the state who's not going to be supportive of an inclusive industry. You will likely do worse than you did in 2024. But the amount of money that you spent, I'm looking at you, True Leave, and I got friends over there. you're a good company, but the amount of money that you spent trying to pass that could have been better deployed trying to flip two or three of the congressional seats in Florida and flipping 10 to 12 state legislative seats. So you would have an ability to start moving both the state and Congress in a direction to actually getting you a pro cannabis majority. Right now, you have in Florida and you have in Texas two states who are saying we're going to redistrict Congress to put more MAGA and likely more anti cannabis MAGA people into Congress, which is going to make it harder to get anything passed for this industry. And the House has adopted an amendment in the budget bill for agriculture to basically ban consumable hemp CBD products. And the Senate has adopted a similar version, but it will have a 1 year time to take effect versus the House has, it takes immediate effect. They're going to have to reconcile the two, and they may end up either reconciling where it's a 6 month or they may adopt the House version. Who knows? But ultimately, we're getting our asses handed to us. We're not winning, guys. And with the continuing investment in criminalizing activity, both from the MAGA fascist federal government, but then also at these MAGA state controlled governments, they're just making it easier to criminalize activity, including the use of cannabis and the use of consumable hemp products. We're not winning, we're losing. The Changemaker Initiative is set up to change that approach. The Changemaker Initiative is a multi year strategy to win control of state and federal government so that we can get the regulatory system we need to live. We're in a horror movie and they're trying to kill us. And right now, we're not going to survive this horror movie unless we change our approach. So, visit our current website that we have for the Super PAC in regards to Changemaker, futurepack.today/changemaker. Follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Follow our Super PAC channels on those as well. And let's get in this fight, people. We need to get in this game. This shit has got to end because right now we're dying. And if we don't change what we're doing, we will be out of business in a couple years. We are one crazed tweet from the demented person in the White House from having Pam Bondi or Brendan Carr or Stephen Dracula Miller or Emil Nosferatus Bove or somebody else coming after us. So, guys, men, women in this industry, voters, organizations, stakeholders, corporate, small business owners, advocacy groups, consumer groups. If we don't work together, we're not surviving this horror movie. And personally, I want to live to the end of the horror movie. So, the Changemaker Initiative is the path we believe is the best way going forward. And as we've been putting out content and bringing forth information, we'll continue to try to build this apparatus and try to move this thing going forward. So thank you for listening. And hopefully we can get you on board and on team to work with us to change the lawmakers, to change our future, to change the regulatory environment. I misordered it, but I think you understand the approach.